The wooden door closed with a heavy thud behind the group that had just returned from the cemetery. Inside the house, silence pressed down so heavily that even the ticking of the clock sounded like a hammer striking steel. My small hands clutched the sleeve of my dress, and my teddy bear was pressed against my chest, the last comfort I had in a world that had just collapsed. My father was gone. The man who used to tuck me in every night, who carried me on his shoulders, who whispered promises that he would always protect me, he was lowered into the ground while I stood in the cold, shivering in more than just grief. I was only 8, too young to understand the complicated words people spoke at the funeral, but old enough to feel the emptiness swallowing me whole. The crowd dispersed, their black coats fading into the mist, leaving me in a house that no longer felt like home. My stepmother, Vanessa, stood at the doorway with her sharp eyes and cold smile. She hadn't shed a tear at the funeral. Instead, her lips curled into something almost victorious, as if my father's death had freed her of a burden. She walked past me, her heels clicking against the wooden floor like nails being hammered into a coffin. "Pack your things," she said flatly, not even glancing at me. I blinked at her, clutching my teddy tighter. What do you mean?" I asked with a shaky voice. She finally turned, her eyes narrowing. "I said, pack your things. You don't live here anymore. Your father is gone, and with him, so are you." The words pierced me deeper than any knife could. I was trembling, confused, begging her with my eyes to change her mind, but Vanessa never had love for me. Even when my father was alive, she saw me as a burden, a reminder of a past she wished didn't exist. Now, without him, she wasted no time pushing me into the shadows. I cried out, "But Daddy said this is my home too. He said he'd never leave me." Her hand shot out, grabbing my teddy bear. She yanked it from me, sneering, "Your father is gone, and so is everything he promised." She tossed the bear on the ground and pointed at the door. "Get out." Tears blurred my vision. My knees weakened beneath me, but I forced myself to pick up my teddy. I didn't even have a bag. No clothes, no shoes. Just the stuffed bear my father had given me on my 6th birthday. I walked out of the house into the cold night, the door slamming behind me with finality. The street was empty. The world felt larger and crueler than ever before. I sat on the curb, hugging my teddy, sobbing until my throat was raw. I whispered into its worn fur, "Daddy, why did you leave me? What do I do now?" And then, headlights. A sleek black car slowed to a stop in front of me. The engine purred softly, and the tinted window rolled down. A man stepped out. Tall, sharp suit. His eyes were filled not with pity, but with concern, a rare kind of warmth that cut through the night air. He crouched to my level. "Are you Emma?" he asked gently. I sniffled, wiping my nose with the back of my hand. "Yes." He extended his hand. "I'm Nicholas Hayes. I was a close friend of your father. He asked me, if anything ever happened to him, to take care of you." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My father thought of me, even in death. My father made sure I wouldn't be alone. But I hesitated, looking back at the house where Vanessa's shadow loomed in the window. I whispered, "She doesn't want me here." Nicholas's jaw tightened. His voice deepened, calm but powerful. "Then she doesn't deserve you here. Come with me, Emma. You're safe now." That night, my life shifted. I climbed into the warmth of his car, still clutching my teddy, my heart torn between grief and fragile hope. Nicholas didn't speak much as we drove. Instead, he placed a blanket over me and let me cry silently against the seat. Over the years that followed, Nicholas kept his promise. He gave me a home, not just walls and a roof, but love, security, and the chance to grow. But inside me, the scars of that night never healed. I never forgot the way Vanessa threw me out like I was trash. I never forgot the humiliation, the helplessness, the coldness in her eyes. And as I grew older, so did the fire inside me. A fire my father unknowingly lit, and Vanessa fueled with her cruelty. By the time I was 18, I had learned the truth. Vanessa had not only thrown me out, she had stolen everything my father left for me. The inheritance, the house, the investments. She had forged documents, lied to lawyers, and painted me as unfit to receive anything. All the while, she lived in luxury, wearing diamonds that could have paid for my education. The pain of betrayal turned into purpose. I made myself a promise. I would reclaim not just what was mine, but my dignity, my voice, my story. Nicholas stood by me as I prepared for the courtroom battle. He said, "Emma, this isn't just about money. This is about your truth, about showing them you were never the weak little girl she thought she could throw away." The courtroom became my battlefield. Vanessa sat across from me, older now, but just as cruel. She smiled with fake innocence, her lawyers armed with lies. But this time, I wasn't alone. This time, I wasn't that little girl crying on the street. I took the stand, my voice trembling at first, but growing stronger with each word. I told the judge everything, from the funeral to the night she pushed me out to the years of silence and theft. I held my teddy in my lap, not as a weakness, but as proof of survival. The jury listened. The air in the room was heavy, every word echoing like thunder. And then Nicholas stood as my witness. His powerful voice cut through the lies, laying bare the truth Vanessa tried to bury. When the verdict came, time seemed to stop. Guilty of fraud. All assets returned to Emma Collins. The gavel struck, and I broke into tears. Not of sorrow this time, but of justice. Vanessa's face turned pale. She collapsed into her chair, defeated. The same woman who once had the power to destroy me now sat powerless as the truth stripped her of everything she stole. I walked out of that courtroom with my head high, my teddy in my arms, and Nicholas by my side. For the first time since my father's death, I felt him with me. I felt his promise alive in my victory. And I whispered to the wind, "Daddy, I did it. I'm safe now." Because sometimes the people who try to break us only end up building the fire that saves us.